Hello, everyone. My name is Lee Huang. I'm very happy to be here today with Dragos Badea, CEO of YAROOMS. Dragos, it's great to see you.
Good morning, Lee. It's a pleasure to be here.
So I am a mentor for YAROOMS, and Dragos and I met through the LS Accelerator program. He and his team have built a very powerful, but also very easy to use meeting room booking and space management platform. And it's being used by over 1,000 companies in 60 countries. In addition, he and his team have really helped with hospitals during the COVID crisis with their meeting room needs. So Dragos, it's great to be here with you today. Why don't you give us an overview about YAROOMS and your platform?
My pleasure. YAROOMS is an online resource management platform. We help organizations manage spaces and other types of resources. A common problem when dealing with shared spaces or resources is double booking. We don't want to see that. We help you prevent double booking by using our resource calendar solution that enforces customizable business rules. Some examples are the obvious preventing of double booking, but also approval workflows or social distancing guidelines, which are very helpful as we emerge from the crisis. YAROOMS started 9 years ago in a small apartment in Bucharest, Romania, and we now have about 1,000 clients in 60 countries and across multiple industries.
Right. So between universities and trade shows and healthcare, they obviously have, thousands of people and, many, many meeting rooms to coordinate. But they must also have very different needs. So can you share with us how you're specifically helping these companies in different industries?
Sure. How we help varies a lot depending on industry. The tooling is similar, but the problems are different. Let's look at universities, for example. Columbia University or Melbourne University, who are our clients, need a way to give access to rooms and equipment to a large amount of people, like staff and students. Using YAROOMS, they automate approval processes that were previously manual, and this way they are saving a lot of time. With the COVID-19 upon us, they can now also implement social distancing guidelines, like enforcing a maximum number of people in the building at the same time. Another example is trade show exhibitors. The events team of Cushman and Wakefield, for example, use YAROOMS to manage high-intensity bookings at their booths during events and trade shows. We help them mix scheduled meetings with ad hoc meetings gracefully. You know how hectic trade shows can be. A little order in all that chaos gives you an upper hand. A third representative industry that we can talk about is healthcare. We have hospitals like a few in the national healthcare system of the UK, or a few in the States, like the Oldman College in Ohio. They use YAROOMS to schedule multi-purpose spaces and equipment, and these spaces and equipment are used and bookable by a lot of different staff members. So knowing who has access to what at a given time is very important and critical for hospitals.
Great. So on our last call together, I was really happy to hear about a special way that you're helping the healthcare industry, and specifically hospitals and doctors and nurses and people on the front line with their space management needs. So can you share with us a little bit about how you're helping them specifically?
Yeah, I mean, we do what we can. After the beginning of the crisis, we created a special offer for healthcare institutions across the world, not only hospitals, with 6 months of free YAROOMS platform access. And we top it with a one hour consultation with a scheduling expert to get them set up properly. We can, of course, extend this if we feel like there's the need and we can help. Finding a room with the right equipment fast is very important in hospitals, and YAROOMS helps with that. Also, very different than a corporate environment where a scheduling conflict can be tolerated because we're all colleagues and the sprint planning meeting can be held from the coffee shop next door. This is not an option for a hospital. Bookings of medical spaces are critical by nature. Lastly, we help hospitals extract analytics from the way equipment and spaces are used. This helps a lot with the future planning of these resources.
Great. Great. So thank you and your team for offering this. I'm sure this is a huge help. So why don't we get a demo of YAROOMS in action? And I think there's probably one question on the minds of the viewers, which is, YAROOMS sounds pretty cool, sounds really good, but couldn't I just use, the features and functionality that Outlook or Google offers? So can you comment on that?
Yes, you can. So actually, for 90% of organizations, the Office 365 rooms or Google Calendar resources, how their features are called, will do just fine. Where YAROOMS comes into play is in organizations where scheduling needs are a bit more sophisticated. What I mean by sophisticated is implementing an approval workflow, for example. Someone books the room, but they can't have it right away. Someone else this week needs to grant approval for that room. This is an example of an approval workflow. Or there's all sorts of other sophistications that go past the capabilities of Google Calendar or Office 365, like booking equipment along with your meeting or requesting services like catering, for example. And I won't go into a lot of details, but pretty much anything you can think of as an internal process can be implemented if you have the right tool. Yeah. So let me quickly show you how a hospital's setup looks like in YAROOMS. So this is a very small hospital with 2 consultation rooms, CT equipment, and an open space for doctors, and also a very critical operation room. What's different than a traditional calendar, and you can observe this immediately, is that at a glance, you can see by looking at this schedule that if you want to book something at 12 p.m., this is the only room that's available. Yeah, and this type of visibility over different rooms, so where we zoom in on the calendar and we see the rooms on the left and the hours on the top, not a crowded calendar where meetings are superimposed, yeah, like you would have them in Google Calendar, is very helpful when you need to schedule things fast and to know what is available at a given time. Of course, we have a lot of functionalities to help with finding a proper room or resource, like searching for a consultation room that has an EKG machine available, and if none is found, bring a mobile EKG machine to the appointment. So this is the type of workflow that is possible with YAROOMS, and this is how it is different than other calendar solutions. It's not mainly a calendar solution. So going back to the demo, because I got carried away there a bit, I just want to show you how easy it is once you identify an empty slot in the schedule to actually get your hands on that space. So booking something from 12 to 1 p.m., I'm gonna call it a lunch and enter the number of attendees. And this, by the way, is a new functionality that we launched recently that helps with the capacity enforcement of the different locations. So I'm gonna book a lunch for 2 people right now, and that's it. So once you do this, YAROOMS has instant confirmation of the reservation. There is no possibility whatsoever to get double booked. So this is not possible. And there's no possibility to be canceled at a later time because of a conflict, because conflicts are by nature impossible in YAROOMS.
Okay, great. So once we're all able to return back to the office and we're living in the new norm,
Yep.
social distancing, of course, is critical. So
Yep.
I know you've got some plans on helping with social distancing guidelines and best practices. Can you
Yep.
tell us about that?
Yeah, so not only plans, we actually started, since we last talked, we started implementing them. And the version of the software that I'm demoing right now has a few of these already implemented. So we released social distancing guidelines implementation around capacity enforcement. So what I mean by that is, guidelines will say, like, people need to be 3 feet or 6 feet, depending on the region, apart when sitting in the same room. Yeah. Suddenly, the room that previously sat 10 people will only sit 4 now or 5. Yeah. We help you by giving you an easy way to change this capacity dynamically. Yeah, so you can adapt as soon as the regulations in your region adapt, and then we help you enforce that right at the core of the booking system. So, for example, if I want to book this room, this consultation number 2 room, which has a capacity of 3, and this is a configurable capacity, but right now it's 3. If I want to book it for 4 people, the system will not allow me. Yeah, so this room has a maximum capacity of 3, and it's enforced. I can't book it like that. Another way we help is adding enforcement for capacity at the building level. So even though a room may be available, let's say the operational room is available for 8 people, the total capacity of the hospital might be exceeded at when booking for 8 people, because there's other meetings at the same time. So what we do is allow customers to define this total capacity of buildings they have, and when scheduling, people will have to take that into account, but not in a manual way, but the scheduling system, YAROOMS in this case, will help them not cross that boundary. Yeah, and we hear a lot from different countries and different regulators, and it seems like a decent number is 40%. So all capacities will be shrunk to 40% in as soon as we go back to work. And I think having a very good scheduling tool that can accommodate changing times and changing regulations to how you can keep people together at work is a massive advantage to these organizations. And we look forward to helping them champion this and get us out of the crisis.
Great. Yeah, so this will be a huge help, and certainly great for safety and and providing some additional comfort or confidence, right, for people who are going back into the office. So this is great. I guess reporting, right, for facilities managers who are overseeing and managing all of these rooms and resources and equipment, reporting and getting insights is really is critical. Can you share a little bit about the reporting capabilities that you have?
Yeah, sure. So you mentioned facilities managers. That's actually one of the most interested actors in the cases of our clients when we talk about numbers from the top. Yeah, a very high level perspective that we offer over what's happening in those buildings. So I'll quickly go to the report section, and it's important to note that we keep over 30 data points on each meeting in your organization. So previously, before using something like YAROOMS, you simply discarded this data. It's part of your processes. It's part of your company's data bank, if you will. But very few companies make use of it. So it's important to know that you can have it and you can turn it into actionable intel. Yeah. Facilities intel in this case. So we can activate the different types of data on the meetings that were scheduled by using YAROOMS, and you see them as they appear below in the list. This is a test account, of course. I have a few thousand meetings, and it's all test names and stuff, but you get the point. And what's very important is that you can filter all this data based on the different parts of the data that we keep. So for example, finding all the meetings that were in a particular building, or finding all the consultations, yeah, or you name it, who was invited, social again, contact tracing, yeah, you find out that someone was someone fall ill. You can see all the meetings that happened last week, that were scheduled last week, where this person was invited. Yeah? And you can You can order a quick sanitization of the spaces that they have been to. A lot of use cases are, I won't go into the why data is important, and it's one of the most important assets that companies nowadays have. What's the YAROOMS stake here is the fact that we make this data available to you almost as raw data, as you see it here. You can export it as CSV and put it in your data processor of choice, like Excel or something else. But starting next month, we will also help you turn this into actionable intel with our new analytics section that takes this data and turns it into graphical reports for occupancy or for show up rates in your rooms and so on. So a lot of value is hidden in this data, and we help you turn it into actual intel.
Okay. All right. This is awesome. You know, good reporting and insights is really difficult to get. So it seems like it's all at the facility managers or any users' fingertips.
Yeah, it is, truly.
So I think maybe just my last question, just on the product that viewers might have, is single sign-on, right? And user access. Can you just talk a little bit about how you integrate with SSO?
Oh, sure. So there is no named way a company can manage their users that we can't integrate right now. We have support for Active Directory login. We have support for Google login. We have support for Microsoft Teams login. We have support for SAML 2.0, which is a standard that is supported by a lot of other platforms as well. So we really make it easy for our clients to onboard their users and map them with the right access rights in YAROOMS right from the get-go without much maintenance. So our key advantage is being a time saver, and we try to be a time saver even when setting up these tools, not only when using them.
Great, great. Okay, so I think that's a great intro of a great platform. Before we wrap up, Dragos, any final words?
Sure. I would like to ask all hospital representatives, like IT managers or facility managers, to get in touch and make use of that 1-hour consultation we offer. We have almost 10 years experience in building scheduling systems, and we can help them tackle the scheduling inefficiencies in their organizations. And we would actually love to do it, especially now during this crisis. Also, we know that going back to the office is not going to be the same for at least a while. Everything is different, the new norm, right? And we are committed to helping companies stay safe. And we are continuously adding features to our solution to help with this. So we are staying close to our clients to find what changed and how we can help them adapt. And I will gladly discuss any challenges we all face going forward. So contact me anytime on email, LinkedIn, or other places you can find me.
Terrific. Okay, so make sure to reach out to Dragos, especially hotels in the current situation. And as for me, you know, I help startups and Fortune 500 companies with their digital strategy, product development, innovation, just about everything. And I'm also conducting workshops to help companies. So feel free to reach out to me if you need any guidance or help with anything. And with that, I think, Dragos, thank you very much for taking the time. You've got an amazing platform and helping a lot of different types of companies.
Thank you.
And I think that's about it. So thank you, everyone. Take care and stay safe.
Take care.